Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Olga is here. For those of you who haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel. Please hit the bell as well to get the latest notifications about the videos I post out there for you guys. Today's video is going to be a story time video. I enjoy doing these. I think they are watched real well. I think you guys are enjoying them as well. So basically what this is that, as you can see, I have nothing on my skin. I'm going to start applying makeup, and during that process I will be sharing with you a story. And today's story is going to be about telephone scams. The reason I'm making this video is because I want to kind of like raise awareness how tricky and sneaky these calls and people can be. Because I think when we think of telephone scamming calls, we think, oh, they're going to ask me right away for my private information, and of course I'm smart, I'm not going to give it to them. No, it doesn't work like that. They're going to first try to gain your trust. So without further ado and procrastination, I'm going to start applying the product, and I'll tell you what happened to me. Lancome Genifique, I'm going to apply this onto my face, onto my skin, because I want to prime my skin, make it all nice and good to receive makeup. Always start with moisturizing your skin real well. During the summertime, it's always good to apply some sort of a sunblock to protect your skin from sun damage. So after something like this, I normally like to go in with Drunk Elephant Bihydra and apply this all over my skin as well. I prime my eyelids as well. I noticed that if I apply Drunk Elephant Bihydra to my eyelids, and then when I go in with other products, the eyes sort of receive the makeup way better. I'm going to go in with the Vitalist Healthy Elixir. I'm on my second bottle of this foundation. Going to go in with my beauty blender and start bouncing this and tell you basically what happened. Should I apply some of the foundation to my forehead or not? Looks like I have no forehead today, but I'm going to just try to be very careful and not get this into my hair. 3 weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, I received a phone call. I still have a landline at home. I know that they are going out of style because people have cell phones these days, and a lot of times people think that they no longer need landlines because, unfortunately, lately the only people that call our landlines are people who are trying to like sell us something or advertise something. Bottom line is, I still have a landline, besides the fact that we do have cell phones, and it's a separate topic why I still have a landline, but I do actually think that the connection on the landline is better than on a cell phone, in spite of what many people believe. I think that the connection on the landline is better. So when I call some people, like my friends or whatnot, I will typically call them from my landline. The point of the story is that I received a call. Normally, if the caller ID says that it's an unknown number, I will not pick up. This time, I don't remember now the name of this organization, but they did call me, and it sounded okay, and the number seemed, I don't know if it was local. I think it was local number. So I was like, okay, so no weird stuff here. Maybe it's just some kind of a company that is calling me that I'm not recognizing, but I'm going to answer the phone. So I answered the phone, and the lady was really friendly. And she started saying things like, oh, so do you own this and that car? So she started asking me about the brand of the car that I have, and I was like, well, I don't drive because I have visual impairment, which is basically why I do not drive, but yes, I own the car. But she already had the information, like, you know, she knew exactly which car I had. She had my name, she had the brand of the car, she had the year, and she told me she's calling on behalf of the dealership where we bought the car. And they are conducting a survey for the owners of this specific car, year and the make and model of the car. They're gonna come out with a new car Kia. They are calling all of their customers, the current ones, to, I'm using the tart shape tape. We're conducting basically an interview with the current owners of this vehicle to see what improvements we can do for the newer Kia Soul models. And that's what she told me. I'm using the Real Technique brush to stipple this concealer in. I find that this method is really good, and then I usually go in with a beauty blender. And then what I do sometimes is I use the tissue to remove the excess. Not always though, not always. I told her right away, like I said, look, I'm not really comfortable with this because I normally did not do any kind of surveys over the phone, especially if I'm not the one who initiated it. Like, it's not like I went shopping at Macy's or JCPenney's, and you know how on the receipt you can do the survey. I think JCPenney's does that, where you go in onto their website and you answer a couple of questions and you can point out that you had really good customer service or something like that, and they will either give you a 10% off. I don't remember anymore at this point, but that's probably the only surveys that I'm willing to do. I don't do surveys over the phone because, like, how do I know who's calling me? And she's like, oh, no, I'm not going to ask you any personal information. This is really going to take a couple of minutes. But what we are doing is we're calling on behalf of the dealership, Kia, where you got your car. And if you choose to participate, we're going to like pay you $300 for an hour worth of your time. Okay, well, she says she's not asking for personal information. Maybe I should, you know, give her a chance to explain what is it that she wants. And I'm thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to probably call to my dealership and find out if she works there, if she's legit. But in the meantime, I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna let her explain what is it that she wants to kind of see where this is all going to go. Because she told me right away she's not needing my personal information. Well, fine. And she's really friendly, like, and easygoing. And in the midst of the survey, she's asking like things like, how likely are you to buy, you know, from Nissan or from like Ford dealership in the future, or from Kia? And so basically these seem to be pretty benign questions. Like, she's not asking me, hey, give me your insurance card information or your social security number, right? Because this is where the mind goes. Normally, we all think that if a scammer is calling me, they're gonna start by asking, I'm using my Fit Me Maybelline powder to set my face. And in a way they are, but they're doing it in such a subtle way. They're really great psychologists because they're doing it in such a subtle way that you don't realize how easy it is to actually get information from somebody, and that person is not even suspecting it. Like, for example, she's asking me these questions, and in the midst of all of this, as I'm on the phone, my son Maxie is making some noise in the background, and she goes, oh, you have a kid, right? I'm like, yes, I have a son. So there, you see, I just gave her a piece of my personal information to a complete stranger. She's like, oh, he must be like, how old is he? Like, he must be about 6 or 7. So she's kind of like giving me the answer and basically asking me to confirm. And I'm like, well, you know, he's 7, you know. She's like, oh, they're the best. This is aren't they just sweet when they are this young? All of these things, like what that exchange that happened where I told her he is 7, you know, it's all personal information. And I know we put like pictures of our kids on Facebook pages and all of that, you know, so we are already sharing that information. But listen to this. It's like she is trying to establish trust. So, you know, is she doing it because she's trained to do it? Because she knows that if she would break through that ice, I would be more willing to give her more information? Or is she doing it because it's just an intuitive thing to do and she's hoping for more information? That I cannot tell you. I don't know if this woman is, you know, that experience to be like that great, but it worked. You see, like because I immediately told her I have a son who is 7, you know, and that's how there's bam, there is that. She already knows I have a kid. Okay, and you know, it's not any kind of social security number, but still, there she was trying to break the ice. Okay, so I'm gonna go off camera and do my eyebrows. Going back to what she was doing, these seemingly innocent questions, sort of like probing me, that's where the art is, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to establish rapport with a complete stranger. That's how they do it, you know, because if she can relate to me and find out that I'm a mom, you know, I have a son, she can say things, and that would prompt me to say something like, I didn't say the following, but I could just see how somebody in my shoes would be saying something like, oh yes, I can't believe how amazing it is to, like, his father loves playing with him basketball. So there, she would find out, here, you have a husband or a significant other. I didn't say anything about my husband. It's not, again, it's not a piece of information that is secretive or anything like this. No, I'm sitting here on YouTube talking about it, for heaven's sakes. It's out there for the world to listen. But here's the thing, this is my choice, right? To share this information. But when somebody is calling your home, they have an agenda. And their agenda might be honest. Let's say this was a completely legit stuff and this was honest. Their agenda might be honest. You don't know that, you know. So when people try to make an argument and say, oh, well, people voluntarily put stuff on Facebook about themselves, and so what do they want? They complain that then their information or identity gets stolen, right? But you see, here's the thing. A person always has a choice. You know, you have a choice to open a Twitter account. You choose to do it. It's your choice. But when somebody is calling you on a phone, it is a completely different matter. So the choice is yours, of course, not to answer the phone. But if you picked up the phone and you are engaging with them in the conversation, of course, the other way would have been for me to say, I'm not interested, right? I could have said that. I could have said, I'm not interested, you know, but I am a human being. And that particular day, I felt, maybe I was vulnerable, maybe I felt like, wouldn't it be nice if a couple of hundreds of dollars fell on me from out of the blue? I mean, I know it sounds naive. But sometimes when you wake up in the morning, like, life can throw stuff at you, and you might feel like you are vulnerable that day. When these people call you, you might have your guard down, so to speak. Maybe the voice of that person sounds friendly. Maybe that voice reminds you of a friend or a relative even. We all can succumb to that sort of reality where maybe somebody chose to believe that person. So I have just done my Kat Von D. It's such a beat up palette, but I love it. You have to pry it from my dead hands. I love this palette. If you are taken outside of that scenario and say, would you give your personal information to a complete stranger over the phone? Everybody would say, of course not. I would not. I'm not stupid. But then we leave the home or we move on with our lives and we do things that then we say to ourselves, well, how could I be so stupid? You know, why did I do that? I did not give her any more personal information. Like, she didn't find out the address or anything like that. She didn't find out personal identifying information, but she did get some information. I was actually letting her share with me, like, what is it that she wanted? And she says, well, if you let one of our representatives call you on Saturday or Friday, she was trying to set up an appointment, and they're basically going to do an interview with you over the phone about your driving experience of Kia Soul. We're going to pay you $300, or it's an arbitrary number, something like that. You know, really nothing is required. They're not really asking about anything personal. They're not, I'm just gonna try to see if I can blend this a little bit better. They're not really asking about anything personal of you. You are gonna share with them, what is it that you love about Kia Soul? If you love it, and they're going to write it down, and then they're going to issue you a check. And I'm like, well, it sounds really great. So she says, well, it's actually done over computer. And basically it's like Skyping. So you are on Skype, they are on Skype, or something something along the lines of Skype. And then they ask you questions about your driving experience. And it all sounded really good because she kept saying she's from Kia, you know, she's from the dealership where I bought the car, and she gave me her name, she gave me her number. I did ask for that information. She gave me all of her information, told me what this survey is all about. And I told her, and I started, you know, like in my mind somewhere, I mean, I know maybe some of you might think, oh my gosh, you're so naive. You know, in my mind, I started believing. I don't know why I was believing. I don't know, maybe she made me comfortable with those questions and sympathizing with the fact that I have a kid, and kids are wonderful when they are in the age from like around 5 or 7. They're so sweet. You know, all of these little things, that's what I'm saying. They're not going to call you and say, hello, my name is, and what is your social security number? Nobody's going to do that. They're not stupid. They know that you're not going to give it to them. You're going to just hang up the phone. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to, with seemingly simple and innocent questions, you know, questions that don't really, you know, hey, red flag over here, I shouldn't trust you. These questions are normal. She's behaving normal. She's being a compassionate individual. She's sympathizing. Oh, you know, I'm a mom too. You know, these types of normal, everyday behaviors, that's what she's using. She's using psychological tricks on an individual like me to get me talking, you know, to get me talking, to give her the information. And that's how kind of it was going, except that I tell her, well, I would love to participate. And I told her, which I have a perfect out of all of this. Let me just grab, I'm going to be using this Huda Beauty palette for my eyeshadow, and I'm going to start working with it. But first, I want to go into this VZ Art palette right here, and I'm going to use this as my kind of like a base color. Oh my gosh, I swear, one of these days I will clean my brushes. They're so dirty. Do you guys want to see me clean my brushes video? Like, I'm curious. Like, is it something that you would be interested in watching? I could totally show you how I clean my brushes. Not that this is any kind of, you know, special. It kind of seems like it could be a good, important video. I'm not sure how interesting it could be, you know, like, you probably know that it's important to clean your makeup brushes. But I was kind of wondering if you want to see what I do, what products I use. I can do a video like that. It's not a problem. Just let me know. I will put some of this loose powder underneath my eyelid, like on this area right here, because I don't want fallout to then have to clean it up. You know, you can hide lots of things with a concealer, but not the smudges, and I just want my makeup to look like good and clean. I'm going to go into this dark pink right here. I love these Art eyeshadows. I mean, these are gorgeous eyeshadows. They have beautiful pigment and they're extremely easy to work with. I mean, I don't have to blend for a very long time, and I can tell you that it will still look like as if I have blended and I have spent a lot of time blending the eyeshadow. So I'm going to go into this color right here because I want to be doing a cut crease, and I just kind of want to create a bit more contrast with this look. Because I noticed when I do a cut crease, but if the eyeshadow of the base eyeshadow is not too contrasted, you know, like it's not dark, I don't know, I just don't like it. I like to see a bit more of like, I don't know, hey, you have a cut crease on. You see what I'm saying? Like I want people, oh, wow, you have a cut crease. You know, so that's kind of what I'm going for, like more of a dramatic effect right now. Hey, I mean, it's Friday after all, right? It's Friday. It's a wonderful day to do a cut crease. Any day can be a good day to do a cut crease, right? So just keep building this eyeshadow and keep blending it in. Keep blending it in. I feel like, let me know, you guys, what you think about this. I've been lately thinking about this. I wonder, like, when we watch YouTube, like as I watch YouTube as well, and people edit it out, you know, like people actually edit out a lot of this blending work of the eyeshadows, and all of a sudden, bam, it looks perfect, right? Like, wait, you know, where's that most important part? You know, where did you blend your eyeshadow like a pro, right? And everybody edits that out and speeds through that. Like, let me know what you think of that. Do you like that? Or would you rather see the boring video where somebody's blending? But what I'm trying to say is that because everybody's editing it out, then when you're trying to recreate a look, we tend to sort of, like, I used to think like I would give up and look doesn't look like their look because, oh, I'm going on a tangent here. But basically I would think, oh, it should look blended already because, but they sped up through the video, you know, their video, that blending that took probably 20 minutes is now compressed into 5 or 2 minutes and a half. Oh, and it looks so great, like a snap of a finger. Let me know what you think. Do you like the fact that that when people do their makeup, they speed up through the process, or would you rather see all of this tediousness and all of the process of blending the eyeshadow? Because a lot of times I feel like if somebody, especially if somebody who is not like a novice in makeup and they're trying to recreate a look in 5 minutes to get that look, it ain't gonna happen, you know? And I just feel like that piece of information is not really communicated that well from the YouTube community. I don't know. I'm not holding a grudge or anything, and I don't have anything against one way or another, because I myself edit this out heavily, meaning that I do speed up through this because the video would be an hour long. Who would be watching that, right? It takes you an hour to do your eyeshadow. Ooh, I don't want to watch you, you know. So do let me know. Okay, going back to that topic of the lady who was trying to get me signed up for some stuff, I guess. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go now into this color right here, and I will try to like put it into, like, really tuck it in. I need a smaller brush for it. I love Wayne Goss brushes, but they are, I don't know, I'm kind of feeling like I want more precision, you know. I'm always looking out for, and not to say he has precise brushes, you know, I just feel like I want more precision out of the brush. I want a bit more accuracy in placement. That's all I want. I'm asking, is that too much to ask? Like, accuracy? Like, I want to be able to... And I want to get rid of all of this business. I need to do my lower lids. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go ahead and attempt a cut crease. So we'll put some of this concealer onto the back of my hand. So I have plenty. I'm gonna use this Real Technique brush. I'm gonna coat this in the concealer, and I'm gonna cut the crease. So I'm using this Tarte blush. So I did my cut crease, and I did my lower lids, and I did my mascara. So I think it's only fair if I tell you what I put on. So this is the Finicils mascara and the primer. This is what I've been using. These are my staples. I absolutely love these two products. So this is what's on my eyelashes right now. Let's see here. What I'm wearing on my lips, I have the Sauvage by Dose of Colors, and I'm gonna put one of these minis from Marc Jacobs, Party Animal, on top of it. It just seems like it's really drying. To my lips right now. I kind of want it a little bit more moist. I absolutely love this little mini kit that I got, much better. I do like this particular color. I don't know, I just feel like together with a lip gloss, it works better for me. I don't know. So I'm hoping. So right now, what's left out there is the setting spray, which I might use, I might not. It all depends. And of course the Becca highlighter. So here we go. Where else can I put you? So the end of the story, I'm sure you all are dying to find out. Basically, after that, she told me that she was gonna have those people call me on Saturday. We were gonna be on Skype, and they were going to ask me questions about Kia Soul, and then I was going to get my check. And you know, she almost got me, and I'll tell you what saved me. I told her, I said, well, this is all very well, however, I don't drive my car. And she's like, well, what do you mean? You said that Kia Soul is your car. Well, I bought that car, but I don't drive it because I do not actually have a driver's license. I don't see well. I mean, I have very poor eyesight and I don't drive a car. And she's like, she did not expect that. I mean, I guess maybe it doesn't come up very frequently. In America, it's assumed that everybody drives a car, but it's a really rare, I mean, it probably isn't really rare. I'm sure there's people who do not drive a car, who have poor vision, or choose not to drive a car, but pretty much everyone has a driver's license, right? And she's like, oh, but that's okay, because they won't know, they will not know that you are not the one driving the car, because you will be on Skype, so you can like say that you do drive that car. And this is, my friends, where she had misstepped, because I'm like, well, I mean, doesn't that sound a bit off? Like somebody's telling you, take a survey about some kind of driving experience, and you tell them you don't have a driver's license. Yes, I bought that car, it is in my name and all of that, but she tells me it's okay, you know, you can tell them you drive that car. So she's really like telling me it's okay, you lie to them so that you can get your $300. And I'm like, I didn't say anything to her, but I said, well, of course, thank you, you know, I will speak to them on Saturday. And we, you know, I hung up and all of that. We left it on a good note. And then this is what I did. So that was the end of the day, so I couldn't do it that particular day. But I called, next day, I called my dealership where I got the car, and I asked them, I gave them her name, I gave them her phone number, and they said, such person doesn't work here. And I said, well, could it be like you guys contracted with somebody to do the survey for you? And they said, we would be usually the ones calling you if we are the ones that want your opinion on cars and things like that. So I'm like, okay, so there we already know that she doesn't exist. She misrepresented herself. And then this person told me to call somebody else in Kia, or I got connected to like one of their managers, and he looked into this because I gave him the name of like where she said she's collecting the data for the survey, all of that. And he told me that this is like one of those data mining companies. I love that term. He says that is the data mining company. And this is not us. They're not affiliated with Kia. That's not us. And you did the right thing that you didn't do any of that. So I just, when they called on Saturday, I tell you, I actually wasn't even at home on Saturday, that particular Saturday. I was off doing something. I just ignored the phone, you know, and that's all of that just went away. I wanted to raise awareness. I mean, I kind of wanted to say that Identity theft and whatever is going on doesn't really like happen that blunt into your face. Nobody's going to approach you and literally tell you, give me all of your personal information. They're first going to try to gain your trust. If somebody is calling you from your bank, like say you have a credit card with a bank and they're calling you and they're saying, we're calling from your bank. You don't know that, right? Like, how do you know that they're not just saying they're calling you from the bank? And so a lot of times people will hear that and be willing to give the information out because, well, they introduce themselves that they're calling from this bank or this financial institutions or whatnot. So the best thing to do if something like that happens, I always would recommend ask them their name, title, whatever they do, like what is their job description, ask for their phone number, like even if it's some kind of fake phone number, they'll give you something, right? Then call your institution. Do not call that phone number because it will lead back to them. Call that financial institution, that dealership, that bank, that insurance company from where they supposedly have called you and verify that that person works there, that this institution actually is trying to get a hold of you. Because this is one way to verify that you are indeed speaking with these people. You can eliminate lots of these things by just being smart, you know, like being proactive. And if somebody's promising you something, we as human beings are vulnerable. There are days when I feel like, no way, I would have spoken to her. I would have like literally slashed that conversation. In the very beginning, I would have said, no, not interested. But there are sometimes days when everybody can feel vulnerable. It is normal. There is nothing to be embarrassed about. The question is, be proactive. Like if somebody is offering you something, tell them to give you their name, their contact number, and then call your financial institution, your dealership, your insurance company, and find out, okay, does this person actually work here? Is this a legit stuff? And get on the internet, Google this stuff. So once that guy from my dealership confirmed that she's just mining for info, I did Google her. Their company is based off in California, and they are like some sort of a survey, you know, company that they are collecting data, but it takes 2 seconds to create something like this on the internet. So that phone number is on Google, it's all there, you know, she has like some kind of reviews, but it's not that hard to actually create that out of thin air. After all, it's only internet. You cannot verify that, right? It's not something you can touch. Somebody could rent a space and set up a business, you know, some kind of a shop, and wham, bam, they're gone in 2 months, you know, after they collected the money. Even the internet. So do not trust what you read on the internet or whoever is calling you. Always verify by going to your bank or wherever whoever is calling you from, if they called like and said they're from the bank. So with all of that said, guys, I hope this is helpful. I'm not sure if you would be interested in this video. I kind of made it to kind of raise awareness. A lot of times in fast-paced environment and fast lives that we live these days, it's easy to get caught up in stuff and it's easy to feel vulnerable. It does happen. We all are susceptible to stress and vulnerability. So it's always important to kind of be on guard about these things. So with all of that said, I hope that you enjoyed Makeup with a little bit of the telephone scam conversation, and I'll see you all in my next video. Please give this video a thumbs up. I have a lot of editing to do. This is an awfully long video. I hope it doesn't become that way. This is the work that I do behind the scenes, you know, and it's not the work that you should feel a load for. You should just enjoy the video, right? And I hope it's going to have smooth transitions and all of that for you guys. I'll see you all in my next video, guys. I love you. Bye!